let's go ahead and preview the 49ers versus the Steelers matchup. So I anticipate a high scoring game, actually. Like, I know the Niners have a pretty, have one of the best defenses in the NFL, but the 49ers have shown that they don't start very quick. And they don't have like all these intensive practices, in the off season. Like they go for like about like 90 minutes every day, it seems. And it's, I've been to a couple of their training camp practices, and it's, it's the same every year. And, you prepare the same, you're going to get the same output. So, you've got a couple guys that, maybe are a little bit banged up, like George Kittle. And I know that Ray McLeod is coming back from his injury, but I wonder if part of that has to do with the fact that Ray wanted to play against the Steelers since it was his old team. But yeah, I think that Wilkes is going to take a little bit of time to really get adjusted to the 49ers, their playmakers, because there's only 3 preseason games now, and you can only practice so much in today's NFL. So there's going to be a little bit of an adjustment period. And I also feel like Kenny Pickett is much better this year than he looked all of last year. And then also one thing I guess I didn't realize is that the Steelers won their like last 7 games, or 7 out of their last 8 games. So Pickett started very slow last year. And honestly, I don't like Kenny Pickett. I have this negative stigma against him because of the fake slide that he did in college. Like, I feel like that was so fucking like bullshit. Like,
well, he's going to stigma foot up your ass.
Yeah, you know what? Out. Yeah. Show's over.
This Sunday, he's going to stigma.
No, definitely not. But just seeing the way that he played in the preseason, honestly, you can see the improvement from last year. It's like it's night and day, in my opinion. So, I mean, one thing I'm looking out for is the 49ers are going to, I think, also start very well on offense. The offense under Purdy has shown, in my opinion, no signs of slowing down, which is a good thing. I know that, Purdy's been throwing interceptions in practice, but you take that with a grain of salt. Like, it is what it is. And Purdy has even said that sometimes he's trying stuff at practice that he wouldn't normally do in a game. And when we saw Purdy in the preseason games, Purdy looked like he was commanding the same offense that he did down the stretch last season. So that was, to me, very encouraging, because it shows that, I mean, Shanahan obviously has faith in him. Purdy's one of the captains this year. And I think that Purdy is ready to pick up exactly where he left off. So Pittsburgh's got a pretty good defense, and we'll see. But I definitely think that there's going to be more scoring than maybe Las Vegas sportsbooks might anticipate, or that anybody might consider. Given that these are both 2 really good defenses, I think the offenses are pretty well off.
Yeah, I think it's either going to be way higher scoring than expected, or it's going to be even lower scoring than expected.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be one of the two. It's not going to be some random, or not random, but normal expected game, right? And then as far as Kenny Pickett, yeah, I didn't expect him to look so good this preseason, but I didn't have the same negative vibes as you did towards him. I just felt like he was playing like a rookie, and he was the only rookie last season that was worth the draft pick, And I just think, looking at the way that he plays, he kind of reminds me almost as like a more accurate in his rookie year, but less of a mobile quarterback to like Josh Allen. Like, I could see him progressing similarly to like Josh Allen.
I don't see it.
I don't see him becoming the great quarterback that Josh Allen is, but I could see him progressing where it's like, okay, year 1, dog shit, horrible stats. Year 2, respectable, like a Derek Carr type season. Maybe not like a prime Derek Carr, but like year 2 or 3 Derek Carr, where it's like, wow, he's really progressed, and then year 3, he becomes like top 16 quarterback in the league. Like there's the bottom top, the bottom top. There's the bottom half quarterbacks in the league, and there's the top half, and he might be right at the bottom of that top half. I could see it.
Yeah, I think that if I had to compare him to another player, I would say he sort of reminds me a little bit of Ryan Tannehill, but less running and less physical running and more, I would say, accurate passing.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I think he's on that's a really good comparison. I think he's on a trajectory to become a better decision-making, more accurate version of Ryan Tannehill. And Tannehill in his prime for the Titans was really getting the job done. So if this guy could be a smarter, more accurate version of that with this head coach, Mike Tomlin, they could go far. And that defense, So
that's another thing too that I want to say about this matchup, and it'll be the last thing I probably say about the matchup. One thing I know for certain is that Mike Tomlin is going to have the Steelers ready to play. They play hard, and Tomlin, in my opinion, is one of the best head coaches in the NFL. He has kept the job for so long. He's won at least one. I mean, he's won one Super Bowl, maybe more than one. But he's never had a losing season as a head coach. And so last season it looked like he was about to finally have his first losing season, and then they go on and win like 7 out of their last 8. I think Tomlin he's great. So, that's all I can really say about the Steelers matchup. I'm very excited to see how it goes, and it does give me like playoff game vibes. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 historic franchises, 2 teams that have the Niners have really high hopes, but I think the Steelers have hopes to be how do I say this? A team that everybody's overlooking and just
dark horse.
Dark horse. They kind of shock the world and make the playoffs and beat a lot of teams that you wouldn't expect them to beat. So, and I think with Mike Tomlin as the head coach, they can beat anybody. So, and it'll be an interesting game, that's for sure. I think the Niners should win, but like you said, they start slow. I could see this being an upset.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and. I mean, I go back and forth on this because it's in Pittsburgh. There's no George Kittle, but I'm not going to. Well, I don't know if he's. I mean, Joey has him on his fantasy team, and he seems to think that he's going to be out. But I don't know how close that he's been paying attention to it. If Kittle doesn't play, I still think that I want to see Ross Dwelly step up and, catch a couple passes. He's obviously not going to be the same blocker that Kittle is, but give me the Niners because I don't know if I can bet against Purdy until I see it happen.
Yeah, true. I mean, that's another thing. I mean, I don't want to keep, extending this, but it'll be interesting to see Purdy, post elbow, and getting a real full game's worth of play.
Yeah. Yeah. Not just a drive or two, but actually getting a full game. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Niners. I think they're serious about the season. So they better be trying to get that number 1 seed.